Hi, I'm Rich and welcome to Nice Kettle. Today's episode is brought to you in association with the numbers 302 and the letter B. I think it's going to be a controversial one. Let's get into it. Okay, so this is my Bremont S302. I've had this watch 6 months. It was a gift from my beautiful fiance for my 40th birthday. Please comment below saying you don't look 40. I've had it for 6 months. I wear this watch every day. Every single day for the past 6 months I've worn this watch. So it takes a beating. I have 2 kids, they're wild. This watch has been in the bath, smashed against toys, run over by quad bikes, all kinds of different things. So the S302 is the newest member of the Supermarine family, so that's the 300 series of watches from Bremont. All of these watches are basically in response to the demand for a smaller dive watch, as most of Bremont's models are about 42 to 43 millimeters. In terms of case, it's a stainless steel case that's hardened, and it's built using Bremont's triptych case design. So what that means is you've in a sense got 3 different layers, which hopefully you can see in terms of, you've got the black 2 layers at the bottom, which are DLC coated and hardened, and then on the very top you've got the case of the watch, in the sense the bit that you actually see, which is the polished stainless steel. In terms of case dimensions, we've got 40 millimeter diameter, 13 millimeters thickness, and a lug width of 20 millimeters. The bezel is unidirection, 120 click. It's laser engraved and it's made from ceramic, and that means it's tough. Although you will note in some of the macro shots you can see a scuff between 20 and 30 on my bezel. I'm hoping to get this looked at. I have no idea how I did it. I think I actually scratched it on my desk. We've got a screw down stainless steel case back with a beautiful engraving of the Schneider Trophy seaplane. I believe it's a Schneider Trophy seaplane, which would make sense as they were manufactured by the Supermarine company. It's a top-down view and it is really, really beautifully done. In terms of dial, we've got a matte black dial that's textured, which you can see under the macro lens. It's got an integrated 24-hour chapter ring, which is where you read off the GMT hand. The indices are applied. They have a faux aged vintage look to them, a kind of creamy colour, and each one has a generous dollop of Superluminova within it. It certainly glows up when it comes to lume at night. And then we've got the hands, which are a nickel satin finish. They're syringe style in terms of the hours and minutes. You've then got the red lollipop style seconds hand and that burnt orange GMT arrow. That dial sits beneath a beautiful piece of sapphire crystal that's domed, anti-reflective and scratch resistant. When it comes to the movement, Bremont call this the BE92AE, which I believe is the ETA 2892 modified. It's 21 joules, it has a Niverflex main spring, and it beats at 28,800 beats per hour, or 4 Hertz, and has a 38-hour power reserve. The movement features seconds hacking, the date at 3 PM, and that 24-hour GMT hand. In terms of water resistance, we've got 300 meters or 30 ATM. All of that means the watch is chronometer rated to ISO 3159. So how much did it cost, you ask? Well, if you want the watch on a stainless steel bracelet like mine, it's going to cost you £3,695. Alternatively, if you want to get it on a leather strap, I think they do it on the NATO as well, it's £3,295 as well. Okay, so when it comes to operating the watch, it's pretty straightforward. It's got a screw down crown, unscrew the crown, pull the crown to the first position, and you've got the ability to advance or jump the GMT hand forward in hour increments. You do that by turning the crown in the clockwise direction. If you turn it anti-clockwise, that allows you to advance the date. Pulling the crown to the second position introduces the seconds hacking, stopping that seconds hand and allowing you to adjust the time on the hour and minute hand. I believe that makes this watch not a true GMT watch in the sense of a true GMT watch, I believe, allows you to advance the hour hand forward in hour increments while the GMT hand remains in place. I believe they're called flyer and caller, the different types of GMT. This being the caller type that allows you to advance the GMT hand in hour increments. If I've got that wrong, which I probably have, please do feel free to crucify me in the comment section. I have a lot of meetings with foreign countries. For me personally, this works better by whatever meetings I've got that day. I can advance the GMT hand to that time zone. I can quickly check back and check what the time is, make sure I'm not booking in meetings at inconvenient hours. So yeah, that's my personal preference. If you're flying all around the world, traveling to different time zones, I could totally understand why you would want the flyer version and the ability to jump that hour hand. You're not going to get that through this watch, but again, I believe that watches like the Tudor Black Bay GMT are true GMT watches, so that might be a better pick for someone that's looking for that. It's got a 60-minute bezel, which I don't know about you guys, but I use it, I would say, at least 2 or 3 times every day. I use it to time tests. I'm pretty sure we're all used to doing sticking swabs up our noses and waiting 15 minutes for results. Things like time in boiling eggs. It's crucial to know when 4 minutes are up. Naughty step, so I have a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old, so it's brilliant for counting down time out when they've been put onto the naughty step. Obviously none of these are the glamorous reasons why you need a dive watch in any of the adverts. I'm pretty sure most of them would tell you it's about changing oxygen, timing how long you've been underwater or how long your air is going to last. But in reality, for me, it's just incredibly practical to have that. And it's also a really good excuse to play with that bezel, which just sounds awesome. Listen. Bezel porn. So yeah, it's really practical in that respect. Building on that practicality is just how tough this watch is. So I wear this every day. I have for 6 months. It has been bashed about and beaten. I am not sympathetic, and it wears its scars pretty well. The other points that I like about it are, I like the dimensions of it. So I have these horrible circumference under normal tolerance wrist. My wrist is a weird shape, and I really struggle to get watches that fit well. We will touch on that in a minute, but with this watch being 40mm, that was what swung it for me over the Black Bay GMT, which is 41mm, and it doesn't have that 60mm bezel. That said, Tudor, if you're listening and you do want to bring out a Black Bay 58 GMT, I probably would buy that watch. Dimensionally, it's absolutely brilliant. It doesn't sit too high, doesn't sit too wide, and it fits on my childlike wrists, which is a winner. I guess the third thing that I like about it is it's different. There's not that many of them around. I was shocked to find out I think Bremont only manufactures about 10,000 watches a year, and everyone's got a dive watch. Everyone needs a dive watch. I totally understand that. And if you go on Instagram or if you look through YouTube, most of it is Rolex Submariners, which are lovely, but you can't buy. And then just a sea of Tudor Black Bay 58s. I love the 58, but for me, I don't want to be, doing the same as everyone else. And that for me was where the Bremont really stood out. I feel like it's got a lot of the kind of characteristics of the Black Bay 58 in terms of the colour of the lume, the black sort of ceramic bezel, which I know it's aluminium on the 58, but it kind of has a similar look. But again, this is different. It's British. It says London on the dial. London's where I was born. London's the reason this channel is called Nice Kettle. We'll discuss that probably in a future video as to where the name comes from. But London is close to my heart. And to have a watch with London on it actually means quite a lot to me. There is that connection. And while Bremont is a controversial brand, I like what they're doing. I would rather wear a watch that has ambassadors like Nims, like Jason Fox, like the Williams Formula One team, than I would wear a watch whose brand ambassadors are David Beckham and Lady Gaga. The other part for me is that I think ultimately where they're trying to go is to manufacture an in-house movement completely within the UK. And that's something I would love to see. Britain, once upon a time, was famous for time. It invented GMT, time. And we've lost that over the past 200 years. And I really hope that they do find a way to manufacture that movement in the UK and in-house. I think that would be phenomenal. And that's I guess what you're buying into when you buy a Bremont, is you're buying into that dream of the in-house UK manufactured movement. And we're closer than we've probably ever been to that. I think there's other ways that might happen. If you're interested in British watches, British watchmaking, there's a great podcast I suggest you watch. I'll link it in the comments below. Scottish Watches, but their latest episode was with the, I want to say, British Watch and Clockmakers Alliance. I probably got that wrong, but it was listening to people like Roger Smith talk, and actually what that organisation's doing and trying to stir up in British watchmaking is absolutely phenomenal. So that's the good bits. That's why I love the S302. What about the bad bits? What don't I like? So one thing, and it's pretty major, and I don't really know any other way to say this. It's the bracelet, and it sucks. It doesn't just suck, it's like the worst bracelet on any watch I've ever come across. The construction of it's pretty good. It's really, really solid. It's built really well. It's really tough. It's not like it's folded like cheap hollow stuff, but I really struggle with the fit. And I just think for a watch that costs the best part of £3,700 to have no taper and no micro adjustment, and by micro adjustment I mean you've got 2 holes of micro adjustment on the clasp. I'll show you what I mean. Can you see that? Yeah, 2 holes of micro adjustment. There's no mechanism there's no diver extension, there's nothing. You've got 2 holes of micro adjustment. And then if you want to remove a link, I don't know whether this is my specific watch or not, but it feels like someone has tipped 10 tons of thread lock into each of the screws. I cannot undo the screws on the last remaining links on this watch. So I cannot get a very good fit out of this watch because there is neither micro adjustment, nor am I the Incredible Hulk and able to break the thread lock that has been applied to the screws. I'll show you how much of a living hell it makes. Look at the back of my wrist. Look at this. Look at this dent. This is where it slides up and down and into my hand all day. And I think that kind of stands as a testimony to just how much I love this watch. The fact that I am literally destroying the back of my hand every day just to wear this watch. I mean, that said, you can take the bracelet off and put it on a NATO and it looks absolutely epic. It's a bit of a strap monster. I've had it on black NATOs, I've had it on black with a sort of cream stripe through it, green NATOs, it eats them up, it loves it. It's an absolute strap beast, this thing. Come on Bremont, like the rest of the watch is absolutely awesome. Your cases are fantastic. Can we please just have a bracelet that's as good? Please. But yeah, that's it in short. It's a absolutely awesome GMT diver. I challenge you to come up with a better GMT diver for less than £4,000 that is as wearable in terms of dimensions, that is as practical in terms of that 60-minute bezel and the GMT function, and that is as tough as this watch. And frankly, something that's as unique. So if you can think of a better GMT dive watch for less than £4,000, I am super curious to know, because I have a real soft spot for a GMT diver. Please, in the comments below, let me know what you think I should have a look at. If you've liked this video, if you've liked how I made this video, please do hit that like button. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe, because I want to keep making these videos. We've got quite a few more watches to look through. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. Please do leave those comments, like the video, or dislike it if you didn't enjoy it. And I will see you in the next one. Bye! Hello! That sounds so British. Hi, I'm Rich and welcome to Nice Kettle. I've forgotten what I was going to say. What was I going to say? Who knows? But it was important. Hi, I'm Rich and welcome to Next Kettle.